When I returned from a business trip abroad, my house had been expanded into a duplex without my consent. Just a heads up. You owe me $150,000 LOL. I'm moving in tomorrow. Excuse me, this act is considered trespassing on property. Be prepared, as I might sue for damages. I was finally able to voice out the feelings I had been holding back. My name is Mia. I'm a 35-year-old employee. I work for a multinational company and am what you'd call a career woman. On the side, I'm also a mother raising a 5-year-old girl named Lily. Balancing work and parenting is extremely challenging. I believe I can't do it alone and need to rely on others. But it doesn't always work out that way. My relationship with my husband, David, whom I want to rely on the most, has been a bit rocky lately. David used to be passionate about his job and was very proactive at home, always offering, "Should I help with the chores?" I love that thoughtful and incredibly kind side of him. But David changed after his company went bankrupt due to a sudden widespread illness, and he became unemployed. I wish you'd help around the house a bit more. House chores are a woman's job, right? I'm busy job hunting. I'm also swamped with work, and I have to take care of Lily, you know. Despite these discussions, he didn't listen, and it's been 3 years since he became jobless. Ding dong. I had a bad feeling about this. Oh, Mia dear. Good day. This was my mill, Catherine. Ever since her husband passed away a year ago, she has been visiting us quite often. Of course, I don't mind her visiting. It's probably lonely for her, and it's reassuring to check she hasn't had an accident or fallen at home. However, lately, she's been coming over almost every third day. In the past, she used to take good care of us and even looked after Lily. But ever since David lost his job, she's been more attentive to him and less to Lily. Mia dear, I brought some of David's favorite dishes. Have them for dinner. I'll put them in the fridge. Saying so, she opened the fridge and placed the containers inside. My not-so-great cooking skills were always being highlighted by Catherine bringing food over, as if she's showing off. She even reorganizes the fridge, touches everything, and nags about expiration dates. It's true that I'm not very organized, but it's frustrating having her meddle with our things. I felt like screaming that this was my home. And then, as usual, she started cleaning the house. Mia, the bathroom drain is filthy. Haven't you cleaned it since the last time I did? I'm sorry. I just haven't had the time to get to that. You really should. It's a basic duty of a wife. You know, I'll take care of it today. All I could say in response was, "Thank you." I didn't really feel thankful, but if I didn't say it, she would just continue to nag. You're always working, Mia, and you don't even do the house chores properly. Yet you act all high and mighty. A wife's job isn't just about work. You know, here I am, working hard to support the family, raising our beloved daughter to the best of my abilities, and even supporting my unemployed husband. Yet, her words stung, and I trembled in frustration. After finishing her cleaning, she made herself comfortable on the couch, munching on some crackers. "Oh, by the way, can you sit down? I have something to discuss." "Sure. Lily, come sit here." I was taken aback by my mill's sudden serious expression and called over my playing daughter, Lily. "Actually, I've been feeling lonely staying alone in my old house. Would it be all right if I stay here?" "What?" So she's suggesting living with my mill. My mind starts racing, and I can't catch up. Your father is gone now, and it's lonely being there by myself. I've been visiting here often, but I thought maybe it would be easier to just live here. And Mia, wouldn't it be a little easier for you with chores if I'm here? So she's saying she's too lazy to visit and just wants to move in. You've got to be kidding me. I gave David a look, hoping he'd object. It sounds fine to me. I've been worried about leaving Mom alone. And Mia, you've been busy with work. Mom can handle the housework, right? I was devastated. That's not the point. I was foolish to have expected more from him. David just doesn't want to lift a finger. With just the two of us, I would have occasionally asked him for help around the house, but he probably just wants to avoid that. It's okay because my mill will handle the chores. There's no way I could rely on that. I'd likely end up feeling more burdened than relieved. Our place is small, and there's no space for you to sleep, It's too hard for you to sleep on this hardwood floor. So I think living here would be difficult. Oh, it's no problem at all. I've already ordered a mattress. It should arrive tomorrow. I don't mind not having a room. Can I borrow the couch for tonight? You're moving in starting today. That's right. I've brought a few change of clothes with me. Lily, starting today, Grandma will be staying with us. It felt like the conversation with me had ended. My mill, giving off that vibe, spoke directly to Lily. It seems in her mind, she had already decided to live here. I couldn't oppose, nor did I agree. But my mill was pushing forward with her plans to move in. That day was unexpected. I was informed by my company that I'd be going on an overseas business trip in a week. It looked like it would be a long trip, and I'd be provided with company housing. To be honest, I was glad for the opportunity to get away from the house where I was living with my mill, but I was most concerned about my daughter. I didn't want to leave her with David, who never participates in child rearing, or with my mill. When I got home that day, my mill and David were, as usual, relaxing on the sofa. Ever since the move, my mill hasn't been doing all the house chores consistently. Only when she feels like it, she'd cook or clean, pointing out that something hasn't been done. If there were no groceries, she'd tell me to buy them. But if she didn't feel like doing anything, she'd just chill on the sofa. I had Lily sit on the sofa and started. I have some important news to share. I'll be going on an overseas business trip in a week, and it looks like it's going to be for a long duration. I see. Well then, just leave everything to me, including taking care of Lily. No, I was thinking of taking Lily with me. What are you talking about? You can't take a child overseas like that. You're going for work, right? Do you really think you can handle it? There's an education system there, and my company has said it's okay to take children. It won't be a problem. David, what do you think? David replied, does it really matter either way? I was in shock. It's about his own daughter, and he seemed to have given up even thinking about it. Lily, do you want to go overseas with Mommy for a while, or stay here with Daddy? Which one would you prefer? Lily looked puzzled for a moment. Then after glancing at all three of us, seemed to make up her mind. Lily wants to go with Mommy. I hugged Lily, feeling relieved. The education system here in the US is way better, Mia. I hope you don't end up regretting it. Lily and I took off for abroad. After all, Lily and I spent about a year overseas. And when we returned to New York after a long business trip, we were in for a shocking twist. Huh, what's this? To my surprise, the house we had been living in had changed its appearance and was now expanded into a two-family dwelling. I hesitated to enter, thinking this might not be my house, and pressed the doorbell. Hey there, welcome back. It's been a while, Lily. The man who emerged was David, now round and plump, dressed in his PJs. Even though I had informed him of our return date and time, it was clear he had been living lazily. I was taken aback by David's transformation, probably having been eating his mother's meals without working at all. It was easy to guess that the mill had been cooking only what David liked, without caring about a balanced diet. While David managed to call Lily's name, he seemed uninterested in me, so I responded in kind. What's happened to this house? Come on, sit down and let's chat. On the sofa, my mill was munching on crackers, just like before. Welcome back, Mia. And you too, Lily. We're back. Can you explain what's going on with the house? Once inside, it's evident that the interior has been renovated. There are noticeable new furnishings. We expanded it to make it more comfortable for you. Remember when I mentioned I wanted to move in and you weren't so keen? So I added my own space and renovated the inside. How is it? What do you mean, how is it? It's clear that the house was expanded just for her own comfort. By the way, you owe me $150,000 for the renovation. LOL, we're moving out tomorrow. What? What do you mean moving out? We're heading back abroad. This was just a short return trip. So the movers will be here tomorrow. Please be ready. So I won't be living here and won't be paying for the renovations. And I might even ask for some repair costs. What? Excuse me. It seems they're at a loss for words. I'll explain everything. What would you like to know first? Why won't you pay for the renovations? This house should be yours. Yes, it's mine. I had this house built before marrying David. It's entirely mine. So, I don't need anyone's permission to do anything with it. It's not part of any property settlement. I was about to sell this house. This is a fraud now. I won't pay a dime to someone who tampered with my property without permission. I put my foot down. After having so many things done behind my back, I can't stay silent. David is just sitting there, stunned. And I can't even tell if he's listening or not. He might just be too shocked to follow the conversation. The house from before was a dream come true for me. Designed by myself in my 20s when I was interested in architecture. I begged a friend to build it for me. Back then, I was young and wanted to challenge everything. Given my youthful design, there were a few impractical spots. But that added character. I worked hard and paid off all the loans. The decision to sell came from seeing people striving overseas. Knowing a friend was looking for a house, I wanted to support hard-working people the way I was supported in my youth. Hence, I thought it would be a good decision to hand over the house I cherished if it could help someone even a little. Certainly, not to be exploited by lazy folks. What do you mean selling it? Why are you being so cold? We'll be living overseas. How many times do I have to tell you I've decided to sell this house to someone else? We're family, aren't we? I did this for your sake. No, not anymore. What do you mean not family anymore? You've received the documents, haven't you? Can't you even check your mail? It's the divorce papers. You knew we couldn't continue as a married couple, right? How long do you plan to live off my money? Even when I was on a business trip abroad, I was the one funding this house. When I reconsidered why I was doing all this, I sent David the filled-out divorce papers. For that reason, I consulted with a lawyer, and we exchanged numerous calls. I had lost all patience with my husband, David. But the last straw was the presence of my Catherine. If David had said he'd become a stay-at-home husband, maybe I would have reconsidered. But even after all this time, David was still just Catherine's little boy. I can't be with someone who can't grow up and separate from their parents. And of course, I'll have custody of Lily. She said she wants to start elementary school overseas, so we plan to stay there. No way. I won't let this divorce happen. No, the divorce is happening. How much of my money do you think you've spent? You haven't fulfilled your role as a husband or a father. If you have any complaints, please go through my lawyer. Sign the divorce papers. Or we're heading to court. Court. Shocked by the word court, David signed the divorce papers. Do you have any other questions? The conversation moved so fast. Both of them were stunned. To Catherine, or should I now say Mrs. Jones, I've been mentioning selling this house. So, please leave this house with David within 3 days. If not, it'll be trespassing. What? Where are we supposed to live? We sold our family home to buy this place. I never thought they'd sold their family home just to live here. How audacious can one be? That's not my concern. We're no longer family. Regarding this house, any changes you've made without my permission could be considered property damage. I might sue for damages, so be prepared. Of course, I won't be involved with any extensions or modifications you made." Upon hearing this, their faces went pale. I have to head out now to submit the house sale and divorce documents. The move went smoothly, as did the sale of the house. Catherine was reluctant to the very end, claiming, "This is my house," causing a scene. In the end, David carried her out, resolving the situation. When reporting the modifications to the house to the buyers, they commented on the unnecessary renovations. However, there were more rooms now, so they agreed to pay a bit extra. It seems they considered the house's minimal use. I'm glad the value didn't decrease. In the end, there was no court case. The divorce and house sale went smoothly. This left Catherine and David with a debt of $150,000, with no house or savings left. David, being an only child, seems to be imposing on Catherine's sister's home, but with no daily living money and the looming debt, it's said he might be kicked out soon. My company formally assigned me overseas, and after a brief return, Lily and I went back abroad. I was concerned about Lily adjusting to the new culture and language, but she coped perfectly fine. Kids are resilient, after all. Things are going well for me overseas, both with work and parenting. The people here are very supportive with childcare, ensuring I don't have to handle everything alone. I mostly work from home, so I get to spend a lot of time with Lily. On my days off, we even have some leisure time. The work culture here is different from back home, focusing more on efficiency than ours. That has its pros and cons, but we can always adjust the negatives over time. I'm glad I boldly chose to live overseas.